Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LALATE, the 6 a.m. edition. Wow, what a weekend it is, and finally, the battle starts today. On Friday, the reconciliation bill was passed, and with that, the $1,400 stimulus check, $2,800 adult dependents, a $2,800 married couple, and $3,200 adult dependent check gets to the finish line. But now what they have to do is send the bill to subcommittees, and those subcommittees will work up a few modifications. But could there be a modification to FPC Retro? You better vote for it. And you certainly should take this video and tag it on social media, because there's now a push to get a little bit of modification in the next few days. This is the big developments that's happening this new morning. There's still an opportunity to change some words and change some numbers and change some FPC in third stimulus check and third stimulus package. This is a major recording of Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. I'm so happy you're here. And this is LALATE, from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home. Thank you for joining me on the most comprehensive and the most interactive 24-hour financial news channel. In this recording, I'm going to go over why there's still an open window to modify FPC this week, but only a few days. Then I'll be going over the issue of the stimulus checks, and then I'll be cutting back to Wall Street and what Wall Street's reaction to the situation is as well. Then I'll be going over Bernie, Nancy, Joe, and also Janet's comments about stimulus over the weekend. There's so much happening. This is the first of a double header this morning. I'm back at 6:30 with the continuation. So don't miss a video this morning. Make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. The link is at the top of the description. And thank you for the new people who became members overnight as well. And if you notice over the side is an instant chat premiere. Chat with the other members of this channel, talk about the game, talk about what you anticipate for this week, and talk about FPC as well. And with that, let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start the new day is that today is work day. And over the next 3 days, the congressional subcommittees will be working on modifying the language of the third stimulus package bill written by Joe Biden. They will be debating the language of FPC. So take this video and share it on social media. Why? Because that's what they do. That's what the Constitution requires them to do. That's what the Senate and House rules require them to do. On Friday, a reconciliation bill became law. It now says that they only need the Democrats in favor of the vote of a $1.9 trillion stimulus package attached to it. And now that bill goes to subcommittees. The subcommittees are allowed to modify language of the bill, but can't really add anything to the bill or subtract something from the bill. So what are they doing? They're working on FPC. So if you don't like FPC, go on social media and tag politicians. If you're concerned about how the hazard pay is phrased, which we don't know yet, certainly do that campaign as well. The stimulus package will have the following provisions in there: $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 stimulus check for married couple, $3,200 for adult dependents, $1,400 for children. It's a great stimulus package because it also has in there FPC from January 2021 to September of 2021. That's about 40 weeks of $400 a week of FPC. If you're unemployed for 40 weeks, which I hope you're not, that's about $16,000. And it goes on top of your UI and PUA. So your UI PUA could be $200, $300 a week. If you made over $18,000 a year, certainly watch our FPC Retro show on Overnight LA. It explains how to do escalated benefits to raise your benefits about $200, $300, maybe $400 a week, depending on the situation. That's underneath the $400 a week of FPC. That means you can make about $20,000, $30,000 in FPC and UI or PUA between now and September. That's a lot of money. Then there's hazard pay in there. That's for essential workers. How will it be calculated? Who gets the money? How do you apply? Will it be $10,000? I go over that on Overnight's LA hazard pay video from last night and every night at 10 o'clock. That's a hit show. Make sure you tune in and watch that. It's now archived if you need more explanation about how hazard pay works. Finally, the EIDL grant is back. Oh boy, this is really exciting. The EIDL grant will be open for all existing businesses. So if you want to go get an EIDL grant, it's not law yet, but get ready to pounce and get ready to be informed. Watch the EIDL overnight video on this channel as well, which explains how you get the EIDL grant. What are the other provisions in there that are very exciting? Well, there's $1,700 student aid for a college student, up to $1,400 a week for paid sick leave. There's tax credits for children, tax credits for childcare, and there's tax credits for essential workers as well. A lot of items. Then there's mortgage payments. There is also grants for restaurants. There's grants for technology. There's grants for low-income businesses and more. There's rent for low-income, rent for middle class, and rent for homeless people to get into homes as well. And what does Wall Street really think about this? Well, yesterday, Wall Street sat back and wondered about some of the comments that came out of Pelosi on Friday. Well, today, Wall Street will reopen with its first reaction of the markets to the great news that the reconciliation was passed on Friday. And over the weekend, Wall Street saw as Yellen spoke about the stimulus package on the same broadcast as Bernie Sanders. They both were asked about the income threshold of the stimulus check, which has always been, since the first stimulus package, $75,000 or less. An individual $75,000 or less gets a stimulus check. And double that, $150,000 or less gets us for a married couple. So would they modify that number? No. Both of them said absolutely not. What they might modify is the higher level, which is when you go over $100,000, some people still get a stimulus check, just not the full amount. They may modify the high end, but certainly not for people who made less than $75,000. So that was clarified very, very simply. Pelosi told News on Friday that on Monday we'll begin working on the specifics of the bill. And Chuck Schumer said, "I'm very thankful for our caucus to stay in together in unity. We had no choice given the problems facing America and the desire to move forward, and now we've moved forward. This was a bipartisan activity to get this done." What's happening is that the Constitution and the Senate rules and the House rules require them to work on the language. They can't add something. So it's like a salad that already has ingredients. They can't add a new ingredient. But they could modify the mix a little bit. And modifying the mix certainly involves FPUC. FPUC could go back further if you push, and they could consider to go back further. I don't know if it'll go all the way back to July, but maybe it'll go back to September. Maybe it'll go back to October. And this is the big surprising development, is that Joe Biden thinks that the $15 minimum wage that he put in the third stimulus package is not going to survive. Nancy Pelosi thinks it might survive, and Bernie Sanders thinks that it still can survive, but Joe Biden thinks it is not going to survive. If it doesn't survive, Joe Biden says it's going to be a standalone bill. It'll be a separate bill. That means if it goes out as a separate bill, then there'll be more money for FPUC retro. Biden said when asked about capping the check at the lower income levels, he says, "I'm not cutting the size of the check." So he's not cutting the amount of the check. It's going to be $1,400, and it's as simple as that. But he's also not cutting the income cap for the low-income people. This is coming after Friday's numbers for the job markets, which were just not good. It shows the job market remains in the clutches of the pandemic. And until we get back to vaccinations, you're going to have to stabilize this job market, says Martin Lowe. Well, he is a global market strategist at State Street. Well, Janet Yellen on Sunday said she does not see full re-employment until 2022. This was confusing when she said this because Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi on Friday both talked about their next major stimulus package. Now, let me clarify some language for you right here. You're going to see a lot of bills, stimulus bills, over the next few weeks. You already saw on Friday 2 new stimulus bills introduced. A stimulus bill for $50,000 student loan forgiveness, a new bill for $1,000 of child care when a child's born, $1,000 baby bond for that child until maturity. That could mature at about $50,000 at age 18. But you could see more than that. And how many more things are there? Well, Nancy Pelosi made very clear that she's currently working on the Recovery Act, and that would be the next bill when the economy is about to reopen. The question is, when are we about to reopen? The report on Friday suggested that we have a big absence of 6-month jobs. What the January jobs report on Friday showed that people who have been unemployed for 6 months, that number is growing, and that almost 40% of people who are currently unemployed are long-term unemployed, the Bureau of Statistics report. Until you have that number rebound, then you do have some concerns. Those concerns are sort of compounded by several factors. One of them is travel and leisure. The travel industry continues to be hurt because of travel restrictions, lacks of vaccinations, and concerns about mobility among this economy. That was the first thing. The second one is certain markets like California have really struggled. The labor numbers on Friday show that California had the poorest labor numbers in the month of January compared to nationally, where states like Illinois were actually doing rebounding quite well. And so we see certain areas where infection rates are higher and they're impacting the economy as well across the board. So what should we see this week? Well, there's going to be a lot of excitement. I certainly think that you could see the bill, the third stimulus package bill, in a few days. You could see the stimulus package bill in a few days, and it's important that you and I stay together, because as soon as we see that bill, you're going to be ready to pounce. There's going to be so much in that bill that you have to understand how to get that money. In the meantime, what I want you to understand is that there's a lot of stuff that I need to educate you on to get you informed and ready for the third stimulus package. This is going to be a bill in which there's at least 5 items that you qualify for. Rent, utilities, food, childcare, broadband are among them. If you're a parent, you're going to have a child tax credit, a child care tax credit. You're going to have paid sick leave if that kid's school's closed. If you're a business owner, you're going to have EIDL, and you're going to have business grants and business loans. And if you're hazard pay worker, you're going to have hazard pay and hazard pay earned income tax credit. There's a lot of things that you're going to get as an individual in the third stimulus package. So it's important that you read the PDFs from this channel. There, for members of this channel, if you've not become a member, certainly do in the link above. And because as soon as this becomes law, bam, the money's going out. And as soon as it goes out, you have to be ready to pounce with those applications. I have people saying, how do I get this money? Where do I apply? Hasn't gone live yet. But as soon as it goes live, you need to be ready to get this money. It's first come, first serve. Meantime, if you did not catch EIDL on Overnight's LALATE, please watch it. It's in the archive of this channel. It debuted at 1 a.m. today, and it goes over the EIDL grant. If you're a business owner, please watch that video because it explains how you get money for your business. If you're wondering about unemployment, then watch the 2 a.m. show, FPUC Retro, which explains how you get FPUC, UI, and PUA. And meantime, continuing on early mornings at LA, I'm back at 6:30. I have more details on what's unfolding in the third stimulus package and what Wall Street's saying to the third stimulus package. Then I'm back at 8:30 a.m. with Mornings LA. That will be the big broadcast. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and have a great morning. And stay LA for more.